Hello, my name's Professor Brett Davies. Well, you know that I love both self-managed super funds and family trusts. But over the last few months, we've seen quite a surge on our website of people building family trust deeds, and that's gone up about 38%. And self-managed super funds have dropped about 23%. And talking to accountants and my brethren and financial advisors, it seems that those professional groups are looking for opportunities other than in self-managed super fund. Once you use up your entitlements, or the small amount of money that our left-wing Liberal government is going to impose upon us, let's hope they don't, but if they do, then what are the alternatives? So family trusts are certainly a very interesting alternative to superannuation funds. I don't think anything better than self-managed super funds because they are a virtual tax haven. And this is the deal. The deal is this. The government will let you put money into your super fund at a very low rate and then let you take it back out at a very low rate, a far less rate. So your tax rate might be almost 50 cents in the dollar, but you put your super in at far less, lower rate, and then you can basically take it out, perhaps even tax-free, depending on your age and what laws will prevail when you are at retirement age. Now that's a pretty good thing, except the other rub is that you can't touch the money. It's not your money until you're at a retirement age, or the sole purpose of your super is for your retirement. So that's the problem. It's locked away for a long period of time. And that's why it's very annoying as a tax lawyer that I see the Liberal government that I vote for. I was a state president of the Young Liberal movement. Okay, that was 30 years ago, but nevertheless, I was state president of the Young Liberal movement, and I'm a very big believer in small business. And I think it's quite a disastrous thing for the Prime Minister to have attacked super in this way. Let's have a look at family trusts. So they are the opposite in the sense they are pretty much completely unregulated. Now we all know that King Henry VIII, the King of England, attacked family trusts. He didn't like them. He thought they were tax evasion. And he imposed restrictions on them. Within a few months, the smart tax accountants, lawyers and financial planners of the day, this is going back to the 16th century in England, they got a workaround, and that workaround was to introduce set laws, a set law into the trust. So instead of now having just a trustee and an appointor, you now had a set law that would settle a couple of pennies, now maybe about 10 Australian dollars, into your family trust to prime it and get it going. Now, other than that, family trusts are pretty much unregulated. People have tried it, the ATO's tried it, but they're still very unregulated, and that's a nice thing because now you can do lots and lots of different and creative things with your family trust. Things which people haven't even thought about. Of course, the family courts will cut through both superannuation, your self-managed super, and your family trust. So there's nothing you can do from asset protection from your spouse. But family trusts, like superannuation, have huge, huge asset protection opportunities, particularly a clean skin family trust. And what I mean by that is that if you're running your business in your family trust, then that family trust has high risk of going insolvent because it's running a business, but the very nature of running a business is high risk. So if you're going to drop something, or you're going to acquire something like cash, property, shares, then you should get a brand new family trust, untainted with any other business assets, and put the good assets in what I call a clean skin family trust. Very, very protected. If the trustee goes bankrupt, the appointor, which is normally one of the safe havens, perhaps it's your spouse that's not involved in the business, can flick the trustee off. Maybe you're the trustee, maybe one of your companies is the trustee, can flick it off and she or he can put a new trustee in. So from asset protection, beautiful. Well, what about borrowing? Because leveraged borrowing in self-managed super funds is horrendously difficult. well, kind of good for us as a lawyer, because a lot of legal fees in doing these things. But it's not good for society. You can easily borrow money, and the banks are used to lending money to family trusts. So borrowing's quite simple and straightforward. Of course, negative gearing in a family trust can be problematic, because, like a company, losses are quarantined or stuck in that vehicle. So if you have revenue of $100,000 and your negative gearing with interest of $200,000, that's a $100,000 loss. It's stuck in the family trust. You might be able to carry it forward, but it's stuck in the family trust and you can't get it out. So that's a bit of a downside, but that's a common problem. The other problem with family trusts is you can't park profit in them. In a self-managed super fund, you get taxed at 10% for long-term capital gains assets, 15% for income, perhaps zero if you're of a certain age, and you can keep the money in there. With a company, your tax rate, you pay your tax rate, whatever that be, 30%, might be a bit less, then you can keep the money in there. With a family discretionary trust, like a unit trust, like virtually any trust, if you fail to distribute the income, then the tax under sections under 99A will require that you pay tax at potentially almost 50 cents in the dollar. So it's hard to park money in the trust. And for that reason, and I've been a partner of a number of law firms, for that reason, which have been partnerships, and partnerships suffer the same fate, you've got to pay the tax in your own name, and if you're doing that, you take the money out. So often family trusts and partnerships don't have much money left. They don't re-inject money back to have greater growth. So, yep, I like family trusts. I think they're quite flexible. They're unregulated, and for that perspective, I like them. I think you need to talk to your accountant and your advisor about where you should now be putting your money, whether it should be in your self-managed super fund or gearing up through family trust or some other approach. We're in a new world order, and the persons you need to talk to are your accountant and your financial advisor. They know you well, and they're the ones qualified to help give you support. Now, if you need any legal documents, you can go onto our law firm's website and build those documents. You can build self-managed super funds, deeds of variation, change appointals, even if they're dead. There's lots of things. We have hundreds of different documents. And the advantage of using a law firm to generate your documents rather than a non-law firm, because there are a few websites out there that sell legal documents, but they're not lawyers. One of them claims to have a lawyer giving them precedence, and when one of my clients rang up and complained about it, the lawyer said they haven't provided precedence to that website for many years. So be very careful not dealing with a law firm. You deal with a law firm directly, such as Legal Consolidated, then you protect your professional indemnity insurance, a law firm's professional indemnity insurance. You protect and retain your legal professional privilege. You get a letter on our law firm's letterhead signed by a partner of our law firm. So enjoy the advantages of dealing directly with a law firm.